Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to today's maths lesson. In this lesson, we are going to tell the time to the hour. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to recall the different uses of time as well as tell the time to the nearest hour using analog clock. For this lesson, we will need the words time, hour, minute, hand, o'clock, and digital. There are two different types of clocks that we get. We get an analog clock and a digital clock. Now, a digital clock tells us numbers looking like this, and an analog clock is the one that we know that has an hour hand, a minute hand, and an hour hand. The face of a clock. Now, there are 12 hours on the clock, and in a day we have 24 hours in one day. So basically, our hour hand goes around each number twice a day. Now, the dashed lines are the minutes. There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So if we count in fives, we can see these are 5 minutes, 5, then 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and 60. So these are all the minutes. Now we don't usually find the minutes on our clock, but we know it is there. Let us look at real life. So some of the things that we do in real life, maybe we wake up at 7 o'clock. You can maybe do some practice at 9 o'clock or sell tickets at 2 o'clock and start the show at 4 o'clock. Now this would be if you are working at the circus, so they're showing you. They wake up at 7 o'clock, they do a practice at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then they sell the tickets at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and start the show at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So this is the different ways you can use a clock in your life. Now, when the big hand is at the top, we know that this means it is o'clock. So at the moment, this clock is showing 3 o'clock because our minute hand is at the 12 and our hour hand is at the 3. So it is 3 o'clock. But we can write 3:00 when we're saying 3 o'clock. Now let's look at the time here. What time is it? Yes, it is 4 o'clock. If you've guessed 4 o'clock, well done. Okay, and we can write 4 o'clock using a 4 and a 00 in digital time. Let's look at this clock over here. What time is it on this clock? Yes, it is 8 o'clock. If you've guessed 8 o'clock, well done. But when we write 8 o'clock in a digital time, we write 8 ... and a 0 and a 0. That means it is 8 o'clock. How about this clock over here? We have 12. Our minute hand is on the 12. Our hour hand is on the 10. So our time is 10 o'clock. And we write it with 10 and a ... and our 00. That shows 10 o'clock in digital time. Now they tell us the games and the rides start at 10 o'clock in the morning. Which clock here is showing us 10 o'clock in the morning? If you've guessed this one, well done. How about this one? The candy store only opens at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Which clock is showing us 2 o'clock? If you've guessed this one, well done. Awesome job. The elephant show starts at 5 o'clock in the evening. Which clock here shows us 5 o'clock? If you've guessed this one, you are a star. Keep it going. Now let's look at this. Write the time in analog. So where would we put our minute hand and where would we put our hour hand? Okay, yes, our minute hand would be on the 12 and our hour hand would be on the 9, just like this. Let's try this one. Where would we put our minute hand and our hour hand for 1 o'clock? Our minute hand would be on the 12 and our hour hand would be on the 1. Here, how about 11 o'clock? Our minute hand would be on the 12 and our hour hand would be on the 11. Now let's look at this one. What would the time be here? Our minute hand would be on the 12 and our hour hand would be on the 8. Well done. Try this one. How about 5 o'clock? Where would you put your minute and hour hand? If you've guessed that your minute hand would be on the 12 and your hour hand would be on the 5, you are a star. You've got this. Now let's look at this one. Is this correct? They are saying that this clock shows 4 o'clock. Is that correct? Thumbs up if it's correct. Thumbs down if it's wrong. If you've guessed that it's correct, amazing job. Well done. But now we have come to the end of today's lesson. I hope you all enjoyed it. Assalamu alaikum.